Yeah, no, the actual most upsetting guessing game of all time is when, after 9/11, when there was all those missing posters put up. And you're like, first of all, buddy, she's not missing, we know she is.
trying to match someone's watch to the rest of their body.
That's the actual most upsetting game of all time.
So we jumped into that conversation because you're doing the most annoying guessing game of all time tonight.
Most upsetting guessing game of all
most
time.
Most annoying.
Most upsetting. It's literally mug. That's the most upsetting.
Uncle Donna
really cares about it.
Kai has been.
He's doing some serious splitting hairs today. I called his cousin Sarah instead of Sarah before. He bent over his knee and spanked me bum.
Kai has always been terrible for it, being a 90-year-old man, being like, so you've got the new Playbox 7000, don't you? That's
it's not
my favourite game on the Steam Deck, Hercules. It's like, you play Hades every day. How have you not grasped what it's called?
Not the Muse, Dad. It's just Muse.
I consistently get everything slightly wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what you do is you spin it, and then you do it purposely 30% of the time. And you're like, oh, so it's a bet. You're like, it's not a bet.
That's it. It's
great career as a politician ahead of you.
Yeah. We had a great game at Jean's wedding, which was just going up to the DJ and asking for the wrong songs by the wrong bands. Just being like, do you ever Hit Me Baby One More Time by Rihanna?
We used to do a thing, I worked in a guitar shop, and they had like, you know, when it first came out on websites, that the little pop-up would come up and say, oh, speak to a real member of staff, like while you're browsing on the website. And I think people thought it was AI, but we actually just had like a bunch of fucking failed music students downstairs.
Oh, wait,
on computers answering your questions.
There's actually people at the end of that.
There's the actual humans.
Because I usually just ask to speak to a human every time I get one of them bots. And the poor human at the other end.
I do the same thing in Chinese restaurants.
Well, you're going to have a great time in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne is slowly but surely becoming China. There's a little Melbourne.
I said on stage last night, and the Melbourne crowd hated it, but I stand by this as a good joke. I said that Melbourne is so diverse. I got in an Uber pool last night, and I felt like I was opening the door to Jeffrey Dahmer's fridge.
I upset people of Melbourne yesterday. I was like, do you think the reason that this country invented the fucking coward punch, the coward punch, right, is because Australians are as bad as Americans for, I'm the only person in the world, if I need to stop. It doesn't matter if it's in a doorway, it doesn't matter if it's at the top of an escalator. We were at the aquarium, right, and it's just like Deep Sea World in fucking Scotland. It's got that underground tunnel thing, right?
Yeah.
And it was fucking dead when we got there. And the second you get down to this bit, there's a massive queue. And I was like, this is somebody's fault. And I was wrong. It was everyone's fault. And here's the thing, like, normally Aussies will have, like, whenever something's shit about their country, they'll blame it on, like, the fucking immigrants. A honky every last one of them. Like, just fucking white people talking to each other, not looking at sharks.
There's just a Creed concert down there.
It was when I was in London, it was like the 10th time we can, when he, like, stopped at the gate for the tube and then got out his wallet.
Yeah,
and he'd done it so many times that it was like, this is you, man.
Yeah.
You're fucking London up.
Yeah, I couldn't be with someone who didn't have spatial awareness or like social. The other one I realised yesterday, I said this to Cara. Here's a massive red flag for me. Somebody who enjoys Madame Tussauds. I can't think of in terms of like attractions. Apart from like fucking slam poetry, a general poetry reading, I think there's nothing lower of like seeing a celebrity is exciting, right? I've been excited by fucking celebrities, but to spend money to go to something slightly better than a picture-ish, but pictures are more accurate. Like there's more to pictures of them doing something. It's not even a fucking cast.
The creating of it's impressive, I think. Like, do they?
Not now that there's 3D printers. It fucking isn't.
So it's not an artist that makes it.
Madame Tussauds, but they've got the real holes, and you get left alone for half an hour.
Sorry, boys, we're all out of Madame McCann's today.
It's gone missing.
They come back in, it's just me on top of a pile of melted wax. I'm stuck.
Oh,
Do you know what Madame Tussauds? Madame Tussauds is enjoyed by the same people that think Dubai is a holiday destination.
Oh man,
Easily pleased.
He's just been on holiday there.
my fuck, only to break up the travel of getting to Australia with the kids.
But it's just like, to me, like, people that are like, oh, Dubai is amazing. It's like, but you could have built the thing that you like about it anywhere.
Yeah, fuck.
You're not going outside.
Dubai fucking sucks, man.
It is.
Like it's what I was getting.
I prefer Singapore for being the same thing but better.
Yeah, but Singapore isn't horrifically fucking oppressive, and there's not,
I don't know,
and it's not fully religion based.
Singapore's like
they're
like the sort of cool substitute teacher of dictatorships.
Yeah,
They're like, I know I'm not supposed to get on with this, but fuck me, it's a safe country. Everything's nice.
yeah, it's safe if you're fucking a white man. The same with Dubai.
Thank fuck.
Until you chew gum.
Yeah.
Then you're getting arrested.
When we were in Dubai, Cara was like, where do I fucking breastfeed? And I was like, fucking wherever you like.
40 years ago.
It's like, it's such an amazing culture. Oppression isn't culture.
If
There's
you
nothing
breastfeed in
fucking
public,
oppressive.
you get your tit chopped off in Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Thank God she doesn't have cancer anymore.
Good tip. If you're an American, you need a double mastectomy and you can't afford it.
Yeah, just go breastfeed.
Breastfeed in Dubai.
Take your dog. Hey, you got the audio of that?
Yeah.
Have you?
Absolutely.
Have you heard it, Connor?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Have you heard it? Have the podcast listeners heard it? There's an agent in the UK.
I'll let you.
There's an agent in the UK that used to manage during a difficult time in his life. And she was on a podcast with...
That's not the worst thing she's done.
It's not the worst thing she's done.
Well, she
was on a podcast with
she's
Sophie Ellis
despicable human
Bextor and started talking about breastfeeding a dog. And I think it's like probably one of the most passed around audios.
Because like
In all of
there
comedy.
wasn't a gun to her head.
It's the Bonnie Blue of comedy clips. But also, my favourite part of it is that the person that she chose to give that information to was Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Yeah, it was.
Sophie platformed it as well. Like she didn't even dispute it. She was like Joe Rogan with a grifter
I
on.
feel like it's one of those things that's not till half an hour after the podcast guest has left your house that you go, that was fucked up.
Yeah. The guests that have said to me like delete stuff for stuff that's way tamer than that.
Yeah.
Do you not find it?
No, but if you go into Sophie Ellis Bextor's podcast, she openly and freely admits that she got turned on while breastfeeding a dog.
She wasn't even lactating. She was just getting her tits sucked. Can't breastfeed all you want. There's nothing coming out.
Aye.
In that
Larry
case-
Dean,
in that case-
Larry Dean, that's your fucking agent.
Jimmy Carr, isn't it?
Jimmy Carr, I think.
She must be a pretty good agent, like.
Larry and her just boffed on it.
She is the epitome of a fucking nepo baby.
Oh, who's that?
Chambers Dictionary.
Oh, you know what? I heard that, but I didn't think I registered it.
Aye.
Is that the word on the street?
Apparently she helped with the B section. Bestiality was the bit that she filled in. Imagine you like where do you? I was going to say where do you start writing a dictionary, but probably A. But that would to me seems like the most tedious fucking job in the world. Like, imagine pre-dictionary being the first guy to sit down and go, we should probably write all of these down.
Yeah. A for autism, which I thankfully have.
Well, what was that
Which will
word?
make the rest of this book a breeze.
What was that word you said earlier again? Shall we put that in? Badonkadonk. Like, nah, that's not a word. It is. You said it. You said badonkadonk. Put it in the dictionary.
Tension in the room when you get to N.
Yeah, are we putting in the slurs?
It is a word.
Unfortunately, it's a word.
We made it.
But we put rape in there. You're like, yeah, but that's an act, man. It's not something I use again. Oh.
So the family put rape in the dictionary, aye? In the boogie wook.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I know. I've got to be careful what we say in front of old
Snitchy
old
balls.
leaky lips. Oh, it was great.
Oh man! So the last time I was in Australia, it was for another gay wedding. It was for Reese and Kyrids, and it was literally after the after the Russell Brand documentary.
Was it just before all the fires?
It was before it was just after the Russell Brand documentary had come out, and I was over here. I was like, oh fucking thank God I'm away from it. And then when I landed in Australia, Marlena was like, they've just sold it to ABC, and it's going to be shown the night of the wedding. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. And then we're over for this wedding, and like the night before Jean's wedding, Russell Brand gets charged with rape and sexual assault
on wedding days. So you're stealing the thunder. Wearing white because you're a white knight.
So when you get married, I think that's when they're going to hang him. So fucking hurry up, man.
It'd be so funny if they just finished what they started and just drowned him in the Thames. Bear Grylls as well.
Oh man, what a despicable cunt Bear Grylls. Also,
what's Bear Grylls done?
Because
baptised them in the Thames.
Nobody will forgive a groomer or a rapist faster than anyone in the Catholic Church. Yeah. You could have a bunch of gay people being like, I'm sorry about this life that God made me live. It's not a fucking choice. And like, no, it's not enough repenting. But you're like, I literally groomed and raped people. They're like, yeah, man, that's in the Bible. Like, we fucking love that shit. Yeah. Like, Russell Brand's switch to the fucking right was beyond tactical.
He got the longest run up at it as well.
Yeah, because he knew the Sharks were still circling.
Do you know what's sad about the hard shift to the right is like who you're stuck hanging out with for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Oh joy, Andrew Lawrence.
Yeah. You just keep doing the same like fucking like talks with the same, because there's only 10 people that do it. Yeah. Right? Who's on this one?
Was it just
Katie Hopkins and the fucking banjo player from Mumford and Sons?
Yeah. Or who's that fucking rotten fucking cunt? The black priest with the massive hair in the UK.
Jesse Jackson.
No, he's like
Reverend Jesse Jackson.
I don't think you had to put that much sauce on black, to be honest.
It was hot sauce.
Yeah, Calvin something.
Yes, Calvin.
The one that did can't do it. He did the Sieg Heil.
Yeah, he did the Sieg Heil as well after Elon Musk did.
Yeah.
Because, unsurprisingly, he knows so little about fucking history. He's like, yeah, I love the Nazis. You're like, cool, man, go back in time. See what they think of you. Yeah. They love me. They give me this big fucking star. I must be one of their favourites. Stupid cunt.
It's fucking, it's just...
There was one, man, I wish you'd been in Sydney with us yesterday, because you would have gotten into a fight so fucking quickly.
Oh, what did someone do?
Australian guy wearing a Make America Great Again hat stood on just a box with a sign that said fight.
Honestly?
Yeah, and, man, what was he wearing? Like, knock him the fuck out straight away.
He just stood there wanting to fight?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it was a bit like, we got to fight against the fucking oppression.
Oh, right, I thought he was like, anyone scrap?
No, but that's why you would have gotten away with it. If you chinned him...
I was simply following instructions.
Yeah.
Like, you seen that tweet that someone put on Facebook or something where they were like, scrap outside the school if anyone wants it. And they were like, you're a fucking 41-year-old man, what are you doing? He's like, it's fucking scrap metal.
There's a guy on like black TikTok at the minute, and I know people may be like, why would you have to? Because it is a world unto itself. Black American TikTok is fucking sensational. It's one of those things that make you go like, as comedians, I can't believe we ever worry about a joke, because there's people just putting the worst parts of their lives on TikTok and no repercussions.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who his whole thing is, here is where I am now, someone come out and fight me.
Great.
And people just do it. Like, he's like, but it's like mental place. He's like, I've just landed in LAX Terminal 3. Meet me outside and I'll fight someone. And it happens.
So someone will go and fight him. It felt like for money, or like...
They just film them having a fight, and the guy's like undefeated. He keeps winning. He keeps just knocking people
Man, that's how Kimbo Slice became famous.
Yeah, backyard fighting.
It's the fucking best, man. It's just that thing of like, when you go, like, oh man, like, well, we shouldn't put this podcast out. That conversation was about that. There's a guy meeting people outside the international airports and beating them up live on TikTok. We'll be fine.
I reckon there was a time back then when I would have had a fight for the sport. You know, like if someone was just like fancy scrap and like we'd done nothing wrong to each other, like however.
No, I think
there's a time when I quite liked it.
I think entering a good-natured scrap is actually better, because you know, like the second one of you is won, the fight's over.
It's a hug and let's go for a pint. I'll buy you a drink.
Stamped on
I think I'm at an age now where like if I get hurt in a fight, it might not heal.
Yeah.
Aye.
Like if you stop, your body stops repairing itself after a while. Like I'm still sore from snowboarding, and I didn't even take that bad of a tumble.
I've had a bad hip for about 4 months.
No, I would keep my shirt in.
You're fucking 9 years younger than me now.
Yeah, mate, I got like sciatica in my right hip.
Oh, so I was a friend of mine got a hip replacement, and a lot of it was like keyhole surgery. But for the longest time, I'm going to talk until I was about 27 or 28 years old. I could have fucking sworn that keyhole surgery meant through the butthole. I had no idea. It was just like so it wasn't until one of my friends was like, "Yeah, my granddad just went in for open heart for heart surgery." Keyhole.
In Japan, that's what they call laser eye surgery.
He was like, he's getting his heart done, keyhole surgery. I'm like, it's a fucking long way to get to his heart.
Which you laugh, but sometimes they're going in through the groin when they go and do a heart fix. So the minute his wheel is already a fucking hole there, it's just going up the back. You make a new one.
If I have any disease that requires you going through my dick hole, I'm saying bye to my kids.
Not dick hole, not your dick hole, your groin.
They
Just like the opening there, like gets in the abdomen.
What do you mean the opening there?
Like it's not an opening. You kept
a small fan next to us.
You're not got a groin hole. You're not got a groin hole next to your cock, yeah?
The one that goes all the way down to the back of your knee.
Do you not have one either side? Sometimes I put my fingers up them and they come up my nostrils. Now they go in for the groin for keyhole surgery. Sometimes. I'm
They
just
do.
basing this on Connor.
They do, that's
Basing
a
this
thing.
on his validation just now.
No, they do.
Yeah.
I don't know where they go, but I've heard people going like, "Oh, they have to go up through my groin."
Yeah, it does make sense actually, because if you think the hip bones are just like fucking, there's big holes in them, aren't there? Like if you see a skeleton.
Yeah. It's like
So,
3D printing.
so if you get through that flesh, you're in the abdomen, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is just fucking flesh.
This feels like.
Aye, but that's like muscle as well, isn't it? That's just literally just fucking...
All right,
feels
explain
like-
every cesarean then.
Oh, they're not going to pull a baby out your fucking groin, are they?
No, but if you can fucking rip a baby out, you can get a tiny wee fucking camera up there or whatever it is.
If you're going to pull a baby out your groin, just don't have the cesarean. That's what you're doing anyway.
A green room for fucking serial killers. They do go through your groin. I don't know.
Going
how
in through
it
the
works.
armpit would be a shout, wouldn't it? Because there's no real muscle there. That's just flesh. That's just skin.
Isn't that there's big arteries there though, isn't there?
Oh, is there?
I think so.
But there's not in the groin.
Well,
Man, I don't think any of
all
us
the veins go to your knob.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah. They're busy.
Yeah. All veins can lead to knob was the original.
And I
It's lead to lobe.
imagine like if you lacerate a vein down there, it's alright, there's like 3 spares to get blood to the knob. Like
This man's losing blood to his knob.
I need 2 nurses in your stat.
we're going to need 7 millilitres of blood stat. Just bring in a little vial of blood.
You know, remember that?
Really sold the al on vial.
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 You had way more respect for that than you did the H at the end of Sarah earlier, or the non-H.
The non-H. Vial is how I'd say it, because I think vial sounds like ugh.
It's vial.
And veil.
Vial.
I think my accent means I have to say vial if I want you to know what I'm on about.
Because you're always concerned about
Hang
your
on,
fucking
vial.
accent and things, right?
Just when I'm here in Australia. All of my show work last night, I was pleased about that.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to Europe and you're just saying stuff, not wondering if it's going to land.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah, but Melbourne's also Melbourne's like fucking comedy-wise, it's like plain operation.
Yeah, it's true, but I had I have like a bit of fun now with the pullback of Melbourne. Like I can at them rather than like try and tone it doing anything like that. I'm like, nah, fuck you. And then I talk them through like why.
Yeah, but you have to hold Melbourne's hand through every single joke.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, it's okay. I know it's dark and I know it's scary, but you trust me, right? We'll get through this together.
I've getting in that.
I'm still upset for the time I saw Jim Jeffries. You're like, okay, come on, we'll do
I
it.
said tranny on stage last night.
Yeah.
And I had to
You better be tied with a van.
Yeah, I was just doing sound check.
They call them Tranos here anyway.
Yeah. By the way, I'd say that like I had to build the context so much more than I would in any other city of like they're disgusting.
Because the thing is, like,
You can't just shuffle the deck.
everywhere else in the world, like when you're using like talk about dark things or using like fucking bad words and stuff, 99% of the time the audience will give you the benefit of the doubt. They'll look for the intent. They'll go, oh yeah, okay, right, he said faggot there, but in like the context of the joke, he was sort of using it in the way that a bad person was using it, was to highlight that, and they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Melbourne, you've got to be like, okay, everyone sit down. I'm gonna say faggot, and I don't mean it. I don't mean it. Look at my eyes. I really don't. Fingers crossed.
I don't mean it not enough to not say it.
No.
And then you
in Melbourne they play that where they
play the we're sorry.
We're sorry.
Oh. We're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're
this
so
is our land. We're borrowing it, but we're not going to move. But they're like, I don't think Melbourne's the people that need to hear that. I think that's like you've converted everybody. Like that's the choir. That's just sanctimonious now. Play that like a couple hours out of town.
Yeah. And it's so destructive to a fucking comedy show. Like we have to really, every time we're here, we have to fight because you can't do it without the addressing the thanks to the ancestors or whatever it's called. And they're like, do that. And then just straight into your show. And we're like, no, we'll do it. And then it's fucking 3 more minutes of music.
Yeah. This exact argument last night.
I come straight on after.
As if the fucking Aboriginal people, first of all, as if you've given them any fucking tickets to the show.
Aye, and they're also not allowed in anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to say it, but
gig into Alice
I don't want to be the one to say it, but they're all at the casino.
No, but it's true though, because like arts isn't particularly accessible by the sounds of it, and they're not really being invited out to comedy. Yeah. And you go like, who's this for then?
Yeah.
The fucking white guilt enhancement.
Yeah, 100%. Like, we just want to give something back to them. It's like, well, okay, stop giving them alcohol and fucking meth then. Because
give it to me. I will take it.
Because apparently, like the reason in the Aboriginal communities over here, alcohol and drugs are particularly bad, just because like they didn't have like we've had booze in Europe for fucking 3,000 years. Jesus was fucking doing it in the Middle East.
He's dealing with water.
We fucking built Disneyland on a Quaker settlement. And immediately just went, here's fucking everything.
Yeah, but fuck the Quakers. What fucking what?
What's a Quaker again? Is Quaker like a Christian?
Christian
porridge.
They're
pacifists. So the best people to fucking oppress. The best people in the world to oppress. Apart from Australians.
The Atha and Mie. That was a Wheel of Time reference. I'm sorry, sorry you went in on it.
Here's a Quaker revolt. That's it.
Damn it.
Not a fan of that.
Can you kill me first so I don't have to see my children die?
But they've got good real estate, Quakers. I've started noticing that.
Do they?
If you tune into it looking about, they've always got a fucking good building. They've got a giant fucking old school in Glasgow. They've got a big fucking place on the Royal Mile.
There's Quakers in Scotland.
There's Quakers everywhere.
Man, I don't understand why they like this.
I'm only just hearing about them now. Like I'm vaguely aware of the word Quaker, but I didn't know.
It is a funny name to give someone who's scared to fight.
Is that why they say Quaker in your boots? Because the Quakers are cowards. The Quaker punches.
Quaker was the bad guy in Punisher.
He's also the guy from Hacksaw Ridge that kept running into the battlefield.
Yeah, all off-sects of Christianity are so fucking gay compared to like the off-sects of like, because Islam, the religion of peace, the off-sects of it are not the religion of peace, right? They're like no rights, none of you can stand in fucking windows. Every off-sect of Christianity is just the lamest fucking thing. Mormons, Jehovah's.
The offshoots of Islam want peace the way your dad wants peace when he's had enough on holiday. Starts taking stuff off everybody and shouting at all the women. I just want some fucking peace.
Starts tearing down Christmas decorations on December 23rd.
I'm hitting you because I love you.
There's Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't even know what their whole thing. I think their whole thing is that they don't believe in the Holy Trinity.
Yeah. And you're like, buddy,
the first 3 blades. And it starts after Wesley Snipes was in jail.
Yeah. I also
I've just been to a christening and they described what the Holy Ghost was, but I forgot. It's the spunk, isn't it? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Is that the Trinity? And the Holy Ghost, like the fucking spirit that passed on the
I think it's just like
The seed.
I don't know.
It's just it's autism. It's like if you read the same book over and over and over and over again, that's depression and autism. Like that's when I know if I'm in like before I realise that maybe I'm in a sad couple of weeks. If I ever go back and read a book that I've read before, I go, "Oh, I'm sad because there's no surprise in this. I'm reading this because it's fucking familiar." Every single Christian is the saddest fucking person.
Every single one of your fans that's watched your show about 20 times.
yeah. Oh, well, we all know they're fucking riddled with anxiety and.
Oh, nice.
Losers.
Nice though.
Yeah.
Most of them.
The ones that like come to my show are cool.
I started fucking blocking people left, right, and centre on Instagram yesterday because I was doing my little fun rants about Australia because the Australians can take it, and every single person who tried to explain something behind the joke to me, I was like block. Because I called it the coward punch. Somebody's like, well, actually, I think you'll find the real reason why it's called that is because of the innocent lives that were lost. Blah, 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 blah. It's called the king punch because it was like if somebody was in a fucking casino or a pub acting like the king, right? They're like, are you the fucking king? Dead.
Is that why they call it a king punch?
Yes.
Right.
I think you're the king. You're fucking dead.
So you sucker punch the.
So everyone was like, every person who died of a king punch was fucking innocent. I'm like, by the sounds of things, somebody thought they weren't the fucking best.
Have any of you ever been sucker punched?
Headbutt.
Aye.
I got sucker cigarette stubbed out on me.
You still speak to your dad?
During one of his sanctioned visits.
A conjugal in prison.
Oh, fucking hell. Nah, I was about 18 or 19 on a night out. And, this fucking lassie, like, stubbed her cigarette out on my arm when I wasn't looking in the smoking section. And then it just, like, erupted into a big fight with, like, all the guys that she was with and all my mates.
That's the thing. Is like if a lass puts a cigarette out on you, you're knocking out the guy she's with.
Yeah.
Like you can't do now. Like that's just like all my ethics are pointing towards like don't do that. I'd probably rob her.
No, I think you're allowed to. I don't think you should be violent at any point. But if a woman swings at you or does anything like that, you're allowed one. You're allowed one punch.
It's also directly related to how ugly she is.
I wouldn't fight back if a woman hit us, but if a woman touched Natalie, she's not a woman anymore. She's getting murdered.
Yeah.
I think the protection comes first.
I think for me, like the ugliness is a massive factor. Like if I get a cigarette put on me, I turn around and she's a fucking
rotter,
an absolute dog. I'm like, you're not really a woman anymore. You know what I mean?
If she's hot, you're like, oh, sorry about a cigarette, and then light it for her.
Yeah. Just picking it up and smoking it.
Oh no, I've seen hot girls get fucking hit in Scotland.
That's
hot for Scotland.
That's how we keep them humble.
Aye. Cara's been fucking. She got her collarbone broken because she called some.
Listen.
Is that the one where you ran off?
I was getting the police. Well, before I knew her, she was making fun of some girl in a line of a nightclub because she was wearing fucking Ugg-boots or something. And
she was having a shower moment in the toilets.
And then just threw her down to the ground, broke her collarbone. I'm like, yeah, man.
But that's like just great learning experiences. Like, and especially a woman wearing Ugg boots to the club knows how to fucking kick the shit out of you. That's a woman who's giving up.
Oh, aye.
That's what joke my dad wrote for me that I never use because I mean it's a decent joke, but it also just doesn't work. Which is they call Aberdeen the furry boot town because all the women are Ugg.
It's solid.
When we were single, I had quite a good success rate in Aberdeen.
Yeah, because they're.
It's just where to lie next to someone warm. So it's Aberdeen is like one of the places I weirdly gigged loads when I was new because of Naz.
Oh yeah.
I used to love getting a Naz breaking bad news that he definitely knew about for a week, as if it was new bad news on the day of a gig.
Yeah.
And you get a voice note while you're driving up, and it'd be like, "Hey bro, so there's no chairs in the venue. and there's been a flood, but we're going to go ahead with the gig anyway.
We've told everyone to bring sandals and shorts.
We're making it beach theme.
I do wish there was some sort of like FIFA for comedy where there's just like, I don't know how the craziest and worst cunts in the fucking world get to be promoters. Like, I mean,
well, because people are desperate for stage time.
aye.
There's just enough. There's enough people that'll do any gig, because that's the only way you learn. You take every gig that you can get. So if someone pops a gig up, you're gonna get like a handful of competent comics that are.
But and there's also like these just like comedy ghouls, and you just see their names pop up on lineups of, and it's always in like, oh, the Chuckle Hut in Buscombe, and you're like, I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah.
But there's a gig and there's going to be 30 audience members there.
And there's all going to be the drunkest people, because the only reason they were told they could get tickets was they were going to get 2 fucking free drinks because this person
and
doesn't
you just
have to
see
promote
that
comedy.
endless cycle of like people who've been doing it for 10 years and are angry because the last thing you're ever going to do is admit that maybe I'm not good enough at this.
You got bogey daft kind of.
Oh, really? I thought for this gear in Australia. I think no.
Like you meet these comics who've just been like, they've been in the same position in their career for 10, 15 years.
Well, we always just have a fucking bit, which is like how good it would be to just get to be comedy HR. And just say to people after 10 years, be like, "Hey man, thanks so much for your innings. You've been stale for a couple of years now. You're not really changing things up. It's time to pack. You're done. Done. It's over. Sorry, man. Good innings. You got to support Frankie a couple of times. You're not good at comedy, man. It's over. See you later."
He's naming names on here.
I know. I know. I'm just. It's a weird one to pick because I feel like he can fight because he's like a juggler.
Yeah, because it's fucking boring and sober.
But I did one.
If you're sober, you're not allowed to knock anyone out of a fucking nightclub.
That's weird, isn't it? That's like like when people go out sober and pull, you're like, I don't know about that. Like your frequency's got to be like similar. Like you cannot be.
How soon after becoming comedy HR would you stop listening to sexual harassment claims? Because I feel like you'd be like, let's finally clean this up. And after 3 days, you're like, so it's everyone then.
Yeah,
everyone's doing it.
I was talking about this in the car the way here, being like, because my agent over here was talking to me about the brand stuff, and I was like, to be fair, like in the UK now, I don't really hear any rumours about there being any fucking predators out there anymore. And I'm like, people will probably just stop telling me. They're probably just like, oh man, and I was like, hey Sloss, how are you? The kids doing well? Yeah, nothing going on over here.
You grab your phone every time I tell you a secret.
Yeah, this is exactly what Saucy's kitchen looks like.
Press conference.
Sorry, what was that you were saying about the gig last night?
Pushing the mic in your face.
It's fucked up, man. I don't think I don't think there's going to be as much. It's not going to be the wild, wild west anymore. But comedy's pushing to like the right again. I reckon there's going to be like some rapes at Kill Tony.
We were talking about my first time in Australia, and I was talking about the lineup I was on, and it was like all people that got swept up with Me Too. Like literally, like fucking, not even Me Too with Tom Binns. That was like fucking hard drive full of child porn.
Yeah.
And then the man from X, and fucking. Like I'm like, oh, the picture, because I've had photos with fucking like backstage at Late and Live with the person that used to host it, and I'm like, oh man, it's like I've got like, when you see pictures of like Piers Morgan with like Ghislaine Maxwell and fucking Jeffrey Epstein and all that, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake,
you're collecting them like fucking Pokemon cards.
I get. The thing is, don't get me wrong, I'd like to call out more predators, because if I call out 2 more, I get to do 1 false accusation. You
get to call in a helicopter.
Yeah, that's the new thing. You know how people used to shout Kobe before they chuck paper in a bin?
Yeah.
You have to shout that right before your helicopter crashes. Kobe. But there's not as much. Do you know? I think there's a direct correlation to when we started making comedy about mental illness to when the really mentally ill ones started to disappear.
Yeah.
Right? It's now mental illness in comedy is people with pretend ADHD, whereas it used to be people with real schizophrenia.
Well, it was like if you wanted to enter that Amuse Moose competition, you had to go to London and do 90 seconds of your set, right? Yeah. And they're not seeing if you're funny.
Oh,
in 90
I'm so
seconds.
glad Amused Moose is dead.
They're just making sure that
Hills Jago, is that her name?
Yeah. She's almost identically in appearance and persona to her off The Weakest Link.
Yeah.
Ramesh. What's she called again? Anne something?
Robinson.
Anne Robinson. It's just like
Tommy's mum.
Like I was just like couldn't get my head around the fact that it wasn't Anne Robinson when I went down there.
If it was Tommy's mum, weakest link would be Raymond Slang. You are the weakest link.
Friendly reminder, there's no such person as Tommy Robinson. It's Stephen McAxley.
Yeah. Double barrel name on him is a fucking great turn.
He's a character act and people are buying it.
Yeah. Well, he's no different to the fucking Liver King or Russell Brand. It's you find a bunch of conspiracy theorists who are isolated and alone because they're ugly and they were abused as kids.
Yeah.
And the mental health system in the NHS has fucking failed them over the years. So they don't trust anyone. And you're like, well, you've got fucking money since you've got no friends or kids to spend it on. So why don't you fucking buy these pills that I'm selling or these fucking healing crystals, whatever it is Russell Brand's selling nowadays.
Yeah. But, and also, I think comedians were like one of the few groups of people who like watched Adolescence and weren't like, oh my God, is this really happening? We go, yeah. It's been happening for a decade now.
Mate, I watch Adolescence going, which colour hearts have I been using?
I've still not seen it.
There's loads of code in the emojis that the kids know, but the adults don't because they're not tuned into the way like kids talk to each other. So like it looked like someone was being nice on Instagram, but they're actually bullying them, and it was based on the emojis and like the different colour hearts mean different things.
Yeah, I mean, bullied in emojis is such a.
I used to get battered when I was a kid.
I wish someone threw a smiley face at me from time to time.
Well, it was like when they fucking
Dynamite
changed the
emoji.
gun emoji to the water pistol emoji. I was just like,
And the Celtic fans fuckers got scared.
this is the left wing that the right wing think the left wing are. Like, this is the fucking parody bit. Like, lads, changing it to a water pistol is not going to lower gun crime at all. Not even a fucking shred.
Yeah, it just changed a lot of rappers' Instagram handles.
Yeah.
That was it. But that is like, to me, the problem, like with a lot of left stuff and what the stuff that makes it hard to like, as you go like, lads, we're not changing gun law.
Nah.
But
also, we're saying suicide. We're not saying unaliving themselves.
Also,
Fuck off, man.
I know, and unaliving, and also fucking using the grape emoji instead of saying rape.
Oh, so boring. What's the fucking woke term for homeless? Unhoused.
Unhoused.
Man, you're not fixing the problem by changing the fucking language, lads.
The worst one I've seen is like very kind of liberal fashion TikTokers have started referring to wife beaters as wife pleasers.
Pleasers?
Yeah, wife pleasers. Yeah, I promise.
Oh man. I remember when I first started, a comedian had an open line there. You know how you go, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And it's always like, I look like someone, crossed with someone, a love child of you. I know what you're thinking. Can you kill a tramp and get away with it? Couldn't do that anymore, could you?
Remember bum fights?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We used to do them on tour, didn't we, in the hotel room?
Best bit of trolling ever, though, is when fucking Dr. Phil had the guy who started it on his show to like lambast. Have you never seen this clip?
No.
So it's like this guy that started bum fights, and Dr. Phil had him on the show, and he was going to be like really fucking give him a dressing down. And the guy came on dressed as Dr. Phil, even shaved the middle of his hair, and came on dressed as him, and then absolutely destroyed him and being like, "You're doing the same thing as
100%.
me. You're getting like trailer trash on your show and exploiting them."
Yep.
He's like, at least I'm like paying mine.
For me, man, it's shocking to me that fucking Jeremy Kyle isn't in jail, because there's a suicide from Jeremy Kyle because they used the the lie detectors, which have an accuracy rate of 51%.
It's absolute nonsense.
It's slightly more.
Yeah.
It's like 1% more than literally just guessing. So like, there's a guy on, and like she thinks she's cheating on you.
Yeah.
The lie detector was fucking inconclusive. He's mentally ill, but that's why he was on fucking Jimmy Cow. Killed himself. They took the show off of air. And you're like, that's not. No, man. Jail. If I went online and I bullied someone into fucking killing themselves, I would be in fucking jail. Right? Doesn't matter whether it was your assistants. Doesn't matter whether it was fucking whatever.
How did he kill himself? Because I don't reckon there's enough room to hang yourself in a caravan.
To be fair, I don't know.
He slid his groin 7 times.
Just took the blocks out from under the wheels and just got run over by his house.
I thought you meant from like his wheelchair. Just rolled down a hill.
Yeah, I've never thought about that. If wheelchair users, like, if you arrive on holiday and the ground isn't level, you just have to fucking chalk yourself in. But
who was the other one? Jerry Springer. He was the Jeremy Kay. He's dead now, isn't he?
No.
Is he not?
No. They just made a documentary about that like last year.
Jerry Springer's not dead.
No.
I walked past him in London once. And me and Naz Osmanlou, different Naz to what we're talking about in Aberdeen. I walked past him and just turned around and went, that's Jerry Springer. And he turned around and waved it away. He had a clipboard. He waved his clipboard.
Anyway, lads, you two look perfect.
What he's doing later, I've got a shorter film.
The American ones were always better because they leaned into the batshitness the way only Americans can. Like Jeremy Kyle was always just like two fucking junkies who have had an affair on each other.
Yeah.
The thing that they never...
sold my Xbox for heroin and didn't share the heroin.
Yeah. The thing that like Jerry Springer and that got right was like, they leaned into batshit. It was always like, my ex-baby daddy just got gender reassignment surgery and now says that he's not technically a dad, so doesn't have to pay alimony. And then they open it to the floor and it's just people who stand up and they're like, they've got pre-prepared put-downs for the people who are having their lives dissected on stage. It just becomes a fucking roast.
I mean, that guy's playing 4D chess like that.
Yeah.
That was way before.
I just fucking came up there and I was
going to say that's way before its time.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 mums now.
Yeah. Fucking J.K. Rowling would be raging. But
she did a fucking tweet today where I was like, I'm gonna have to start listening to some left wing podcasts because I don't agree with J.K. Rowling on many things. The asexual thing, 100%,
so
100p correct.
So funny and absolutely spot on. She put out a thing. It was National Asexual Awareness Day, and she was like, she retweeted it and be like, hey everyone, we all have to like take time to celebrate people that don't fancy a shag.
She's fucking spitting bars.
That is funny and also 100% true. This is, people will be like, straight people need to get into everything. I've got more right to be involved in the LGBTQ than the A.
Yeah.
Because I still at least I still like to put my cock somewhere.
Yeah.
I've got way more in common with a gay man than someone who doesn't want to shag anybody.
So is asexual like nobody's like, there's no asexual pride, is there? You're not proud of asexual. You feel,
no, they are.
Like, surely if you're asexual, you'd be like, I fucking wish I had a libido. I feel like I'm missing out on something. It's not like not having...
No,
it's like not having an ability.
It's like me with eggs, right? I wish I liked eggs. I'd love to like eggs, especially in this fucking country, right? They love it. I can't fathom a breakfast without eggs. Eggs on fucking cereal, eggs on everything.
I had an egg in my whiskey last night, man. I did. Whiskey cocktail.
I'm not like, can I be included on Australia's National Egg Day?
Yeah.
Because no, I have a relationship with eggs, and that is no relationship with eggs.
I'm egg.
Yes.
It's that's the one group where I'm like, fuck off. Put your fucking cock somewhere, you loser.
Or your fanny. Women can be asexual too.
So much gayer than being gay.
It's actually it's getting involved in a conversation that they like have no part in, because like imagine you're talking to someone about football and then someone comes along and just goes, I don't like football. You're like, okay.
Do you know what?
Conversation then.
Do you know like if gay people are talking about gay issues and the fact that they've historically had such a hard time, and then like all the misinformation of the AIDS pandemic and all that stuff, and then coming along and being like, yeah, me too, I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
That is the same as when people are talking about the Champions League and that person that everyone knows comes up and goes, oh, you mean like millionaire kicky ball? Fuck off. Shut up, you fucking nothing cunt. Ugh.
Yeah, can't do
overpaid rapists. You're like, I'm not overpaid.
Enough about comedy.
I really think there's a classism towards hating on footballers getting a good wage as well. They're like, I'll give it to the nurses, and I'm like, what do you think half of it goes on? What do you think 50% of that goes on, other than taxes, that go to nurses?
Yeah.
If it got distributed correctly by the fucking politicians.
Yeah, like fucking Marcus Rashford keeps giving his away to fund schools.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood also, but for other reasons. But it's true, man. Like, and a lot of them are fucking thick as fuck and don't deserve.
And also, there's that much money going into the sport from like sponsors and ticket holders. Who do you want to have the money? The fucking CEOs and shit.
What I do think one thing about football that is annoying is the amount of money that's in it. It's only in the UK is the fans are getting punished. Because like, I heard a thing about Bayern Munich where they were like, it's €250 season tickets, and they're like, oh, we counted it up. Like, if we put it up to 500, we'd make an extra 2 million a year.
And what's 2 million?
Which is like in a transfer, we talk about that for 30 seconds. He's like, so we just like we'll pay less for a player. And
so I don't understand how financial fair. Sorry for going into football, but how financial fair play works is based on like your income and how much you can spend. So that you'll get teams like Newcastle and Everton who are like now looking at bigger stadiums. So it must play some part in it in the like amount you can spend.
Yeah.
So I didn't quite understand that from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I don't know how.
But I do think tickets should be affordable to the working man. It shouldn't be fucking because you get a better like attendance of people if in the atmosphere if it's people that are
I would
working
also
class.
much rather thick people be rich than smart people
because
thick people cannot avoid tax.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's easily called, they're not looking for loopholes, they're just not paying tax.
Yeah.
And
And
then they get
also,
done. Every thick person that's won the lottery was poor again in 3 fucking years, right? If a rich person buys a fucking company, they can find the fucking loopholes, they know how to underpay fucking people, they can keep that money forever, never goes back into the system, right? If fucking Cole Palmer is on 15 million a year, I'm seeing that at the end of the year.
And also, like, I've always said, you know, when people whinge about the guy across the road that's on benefits and he's out having a smoke, right? You're like, oh man, it doesn't matter how much money you give him in benefits, right? The community's going to get it back.
Yeah.
He is not keeping any of that.
Yeah.
It's going straight to the local shop. It's going straight to fucking highly taxed items like cigarettes and alcohol. Yeah. Like, it's fine. Give them people money because it's going to... They're not going to keep a hold of it and collect interest off it. Like, fucking, you can put that in. It's the people that are hoarding it.
Remember that Scottish guy that won 7.5 million on the lottery and lost it all in 2 years? And he was like... Then there was like an article. And he's like, all I'm left with... He was a proper chav. He's like, all I'm left with is this massive house and the dirt bike track that I built behind it, and I've not got enough money to maintain it.
Class.
He built a fucking like dirt jump track and bought like motorbikes for him and all his
He's just
pals.
slowly but surely flattening it.
Yeah. It's fucking. That's the people that deserve to be lottery winners. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're.
Like all of that goes into the community.
Yeah,
all of that's getting spent on local businesses.
Yeah, they think putting your money offshore is buying a banana boat. That's fucking. That's just, they're literally just keeping that money warm for the rest of the economy.
Oh yeah, anybody that keeps money moving can have it.
100%. Yeah, but also it's just that thing of like it's a very millennial / Gen Z thing. Of you hear people having a conversation about football, and if you don't like football, we can't do that thing of going, well, this just isn't a conversation for me. We just go, how can I insert my fucking big stupid fucking head into that?
I always find it's just such a nice topic of conversation for staying. Like, you get past small talk and you'd never get onto politics. Yeah. And it's just this great pocket of conversation that you can have with fucking taxi drivers without having to hear a racist joke. Yeah. Like, it's just, it's an easy thing. And then, like, someone that doesn't like football, diffuse it. the diffuse it and fizzle it, and they're like, oh shit, now I've got to actually talk to you about your opinions.
Yeah.
Oh no, because I'm going to disagree with loads of them.
Aye. And it's I also throwback to being able to talk to a taxi driver.
Aye.
Oh, I can't. You'd have to interrupt their fucking phone call now.
Well, I got
Just all you need to do, Connor's just going to Dublin. Going to Dublin because they bring the crack.
Yeah.
no, man. Dublin fucking taxi drivers are fucking shut.
You
the
can't.
fuck
You can't
up.
even get a word in.
Shut the fuck.
You're getting talked
You are
at.
the least interesting person I've ever met in my fucking life. The closest you've come to being interesting is me. That's it. Like, if you knew who I was, this would be your conversation for the next 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
But you're so dull and tedious. Yeah, I can't. Love that bit when Uber finally, after too many years, were like, maybe we should stop these failed actors in LA just being able to ear fuck people for 60 minutes on the freeway. We're finally going to offer silent. Like, you can just be like, do not say a word to me.
That's it. I quite enjoyed having a conversation with my barber yesterday.
Don't say
I was open to that. He brought us a coffee, started a conversation, and it flowed. It wasn't like it was pulling teeth. It was just a nice chat. He was into cars, and I was just talking to him about my fucking recent car problems and all that. And it was just quite nice. It was like chatting to someone that you get along with. But like that's not always the case. That's you've looked out.
I can do 5 minutes of fucking small talk in a shop. You know that there's no such thing as 45 minutes small talk. So none of it. So let's not start it, right? I'll start small talk if the end is so inciting. The end is when you give me that fucking receipt. If you're looking at 57 minutes on a map,
you know what's nice as well about that? There was no one else in the barbers, so like I didn't feel like we were inflicting my conversation on people that just wanted a haircut.
Yeah.
So it's just like me and the dude having a chat, and like I was like, oh, good, because like. Often, like I've had haircuts where I've been travelling where I've ended up having to reveal I'm a comedian because otherwise you've got to sit in a live for 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And
You're married.
Huh? I got a beard.
Do you know what I do
Can
love?
you trim me beard?
Do you know what I do love is getting in a taxi after about 5 pints when you're not that bothered about seeming slightly racist, and then you're like, right, let's not talk about the weather. Where are you from?
Yeah, come on.
And then, but 100% of the time, I've had the richest conversations with Uber drivers or taxi drivers.
By from them.
No, literally by come on, mate.
So Mohammed, that's not a Scottish name. Where from?
I spoke to a guy recently, and I was like, oh, and he had like thick accent, and I went, so I think we were chatting, and then I just went, where are you from? And he went, Eritrea. And I went, class, what's going on there? And he was like, it hit all the Uber driver points. Fled, civil war, fucking great. And then he was like, I miss the women there. Your women are ugly. And I went,
like, they're not the best.
This is a conversation now.
Where's Eritrea?
Africa.
Is it?
Yeah. And it's, I think they're undergoing...
Is that a country or a city?
It's a country.
Eritrea is a country.
They do have the most like they do have like a thing of like they maybe have the most beautiful women in the world. There was a thing in the 90s where a photographer went over and like photographed women just like from like tribal women, and then a bunch of them got modelling contracts.
Oh wow,
and, like, got flown over to be models. They're all like
that's
really
a hard pivot.
They're all like really tall and good looking. Yeah.
Eritrea.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Those are.
But that genuinely, because like white people are the only ones worried to genuinely ask someone who's not from the UK, where are you from?
Yeah.
Like imagine you were in a foreign country. If someone sat in the back and took a bit of interest in where you're from, you'd be like, oh, class.
So it's in East Africa.
It's
north of Ethiopia. Shares a border with it, and Djibouti. And Sudan.
Great name for a country. Djibouti.
Djibouti's one of them countries that's like the album track's named after the album. It's like the capital's called Djibouti as well.
My fiancée told me that this is the most private school joke ever. She went to like international school and she was a member of the Model UN. She's an awful person. I love her, but she was such a little American overachiever when she was at school. And she told me that one of the jokes all the Model UN kids would play is you got like you got assigned a country and you had to like advocate for your country, pretending it was like international peace talks.
Yeah.
And they had like an iPad, and whatever motion you chose to perform as a country would come up on the giant screen in front of everyone. Like, and as soon as people figured it out, they just kept saying, your country, whatever it was, Poland. Poland has motioned to invade Djibouti with the help of Greece.
Oh, that's nice.
That's good, right? That's good stuff.
I like that.
Yeah, that is very different to what was going on at my high school.
I
think
spitting a bit of chewed paper through a pen.
What's the capital of Thailand?
I remember a block of hash being sold from one people to another in front of a supply teacher, and the boys
she was supplying it.
What the fuck are you going to do?
Man, I love that the blocks of hash were like poverty weed back then. It was like a 5, you get 5 deals and 10 deals, like the half moon off like 9 bars of soap bar, right? And now that's like rocking is like the good stuff.
Well,
now
I
it's
hate
like,
that thing where you got to hold your lighter under it to heat it fucking up, and then you got to wait for it to cool down enough, but still be warm enough that you could then take it off and sprinkle in. Brett, who I know listens to this, still fucking... Hashish is the worst weed in the world.
I bought some in Portugal at that surfing festival. Did you do it way back? I did it there. I bought off this like street vendor and he just bit it off. me and Jamal and Paul Meyerhog were just getting high on gypsy saliva.
That's amazing. You probably have superpowers now.
Or AIDS.
Which is the superpower. Don't let it hold you back anymore. That's mad though, that's basically just like having fucking the cold.
Do you want to hear my really, really good joke from my father of the bride's speech from Jean's wedding? I had to go via 2 comedians to be like, how do I phrase this properly? So my friend Jean, she's a weirdo. She's always had an obsession with Princess Diana. She lives in Australia now, an Australian man. So the line is, Jean loves Princess Diana, and much like Princess Diana, she threw herself headfirst into travel, hit the road and never came back.
And the bit he didn't put in is
now she's in a better place, down under, when it's very hot.
Oh, amazing.
He cut the taglines.
Yeah, that's great. That's phenomenal. What a beautiful thing to say at a wedding.
Getting a Diana joke into a wedding speech is pretty good.
Yeah. Some people did not like it. The joke that was cut out, which I didn't. So, Jean's husband is Australian, but his family moved from El Salvador way back in the day. And I was like, so I did an earlier speech just to Jean and some of her friends that I knew wouldn't make it. And I was like, obviously, later tonight's speech, I don't want to upset Eric's family with some of my crass humour, especially since most of them swam all the way from fucking Mexico or wherever.
Or wherever. It's so funny.
Wherever this is from.
Never mind build a wall, build a dam, I say.
He came from one of the cleaner countries, and I don't mean they've kept it clean.
I mean, that's what they do now.
My dad had a fucking belter of a Princess Diana one. The way he threw it away was so fucking good. We were walking down the Royal Mile years ago, my mum and dad, I think my sister as well, and they have that fucking weird Princess Diana like shop halfway down the road. It's still there. It's like a souvenir shop. And they had a big sign outside that said Princess Diana Memorial Tartan. And my mum read it out loud and she went, oh, I wonder what the tartan. Well, I wonder what that. How did she phrase it?
Wonder what's the tartan.
Wonder what's the tartan. And my dad just went about 1 million bits.
Nice. When we were workshopping the wording of the joke as well, I fired one through when I was say women have a glass ceiling, but Diana didn't let the sunroof stop her.
There was also the other one, which was tonight. Tonight I've got the honour of being Jean's father, since he couldn't be here for religious reasons. He's in hell. But Jean's always been more like a sister to me, which, if you know my family history, just means that she's dead retarded.
I think when you're doing a speech, you've got to get out the ones that you can't do. It's part of the writing process. It's just, look, I'm going to get these out of my system. Yeah. And then at the end, just try and squeeze them in by like asking, like, do you think this will go down?
I'm in the middle of we're about to like book our venue for our wedding next year, and I'm like, do I ask a comedian to be a best man, or do I ask an actual human? I think I'll ask a human.
Yeah.
But I'll help him punch it up.
Yeah.
Because I just can't have someone be like, right, none of us can believe this managed to get himself.
We both done get a comedian to wrangle our comic mates and get a civilian.
Yeah, I think if you can
get
like a sort of funny civilian, that's good for everybody.
Yeah. Gene and Ali did one of my speeches, and theirs was great. And there was also Ali was best man at another wedding, Jordan's wedding. And I was like, do you want me to help you punch it up? And he just, I'll forever respect him for this. He went, nah, I'm not a comedian, man. That's not what I'm trying to do. Like, if my jokes are a bit shit and fucking lame, it's because I'm a bit shit and fucking lame. I've got no way
It's coming from me.
Yeah,
I'm not just being your spokesman.
Yeah.
Speaking of, very quickly before we wrap up, the Dianna thing, I feel like it barely made the news that...
Well, Dianna died. Fucking hell,
I don't feel like it's been spoken about enough.
Man, some people don't know. Some people are finding out now through this podcast.
The woman that accused Prince Andrew got Dianna'd.
Is she?
I don't know if she's dead or she got put in a coma.
Shut up.
Aye, like literally last month, she got like mysterious car crash and she was in a critical condition.
You're joking?
Yeah, which annoys me because I'm like, royal family, get a new one.
Yeah, come on.
Blow dart. Use the colonies. But it is, man. Like,
so they're still using the same technique?
Hack. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But it didn't kill this one because they're just a lot safer cars now, the airbags. And like,
you're like, bloody fucking Elon.
Fucking Volvos.
Apparently Dianna didn't die like instantly. She was talking to the paramedics afterwards because they didn't know that she'd like had an artery was gone.
The paramedics.
Yeah. Aren't you Michael Jackson's doctor?
Plug some shit, Connor, because you're going to be in Australia for the next little while.
Yeah, I'm at Melbourne Festival until the end of it, whenever that is, like the next 2 weeks, and then I go to Brisbane, Sydney and Perth. There's only, I think Brisbane's only got about 20 tickets left.
Brisbane's always Brisbane's audience-wise in this country probably the best.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like it's like the Northeast England. It's the Newcastle of Australia.
It's so good.
Except for actual Newcastle.
There is a Newcastle, but that's not to be confused with Newcastle because it's Al Vineyards. Glorious Hunter Valley.
Yeah. And then at Perth as well, we did a second show in Perth, so there's only a few for that.
I'm in Melbourne by the time this comes out. Like I've probably got about 2 gigs left, but until the 13th, and then I'm going to Sydney. Everything's on my website. A couple of gigs back home as well.
When's this out?
Probably like 2 days time.
Right, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend I'm at the Comedy Store in Sydney. Same is true for next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 2 shows on the Saturday. I'm headlining, so it'll be about, I don't know, half an hour of newer shit. So
and I was chatting to Matilda yesterday of getting the Sloss and Humphries logo tattooed on her skin fame.
Oh yeah.
And she was asking about I got her through a tough time, man. So Connor, just to put her mind at ease with her, she was driving back and forth to her burnt out home, like moving house and shit, and she listened to the podcast all the way, and it got her through a difficult time.
Right. And then we changed the logo. She's the reason we haven't changed the logo.
Oh God,
we're keeping it just for her. So she was saying, we're going to do a podcast in Sydney, and I suggested we do one on the day of the Opera House gig in the afternoon, because then we've got that and friends, and there's also people over from Sydney that are coming to the Opera House that could come to the afternoon gig.
It'd have to be at fucking 9 a.m. in the morning.
How so?
Because it's the Opera House, they've got shit to do.
But it's fine.
You got to work on the show.
He'll get all the audio on the wire that he wears backstage. So
maybe it's the next morning then.
Anzac Day.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. Right. We'll get back to you on if we're ever going to do a live podcast, but it's now looking unlikely.
Yeah.
So
what a sad way to end the podcast.
Killing dreams.